Hello and welcome to Let's Fail At Games with me, Proxymace. Today the game I'm going to try and fail at is Faster Than Light, a cool little indie rogue-like spaceship exploration randomly generated game thing, which has a really amazing soundtrack which I'll shut up and let you hear for a little bit. Alright, so I'm playing this a little bit. I haven't managed to complete it even on the easy mode, so that should be fun. So I've just unlocked the two different types of ship. There are a load, so I've got two of them, and for that one I've got the two different types. I prefer the Type A to the Type B because Type B you kind of have the one guy, you don't have internal cameras, and I've just died from fire so many times that it's just not worth it. So I am gonna stick with the Type A because I find it kind of one of the cooler ships, because you kind of got the arm blast which disables things, and then this anti-ship drone which takes things out. Let's play on normal. let's lose badly at normal. So here you are. It puts you straight into a randomly generated kind of universe, and you can set your little guys here to guys and girls rather to kind of man systems, some of which will give you some kind of bonus. So if you see there's a little symbol over here, put them on the engine, so it actually shows it. But when that kind of gets filled up, you get some kind of bonus. So on the shields, it's that the shields charge faster. On the engines, you get a bit more evade, and on the helm, you get more evade. So you have up here your health is the big green bar. Shields is this blue dot. Obviously, as you have more shields, that'll build up. You have your fuel. You use one fuel every time you jump. Missiles and drone parts, which kind of are consumables to do attacks. Obviously, I spend one drone part when I build this drone. I don't have a missile launcher, so I don't need missiles. And then up here is your scrap. You get scrap from defeating things or making trades or selling stuff, and you can spend that on new equipment, but you can also spend it to upgrade your ship to give the different systems more power, so you can support more weapons or have more shields, better doors and that kind of thing. So let's see how far I get. So immediately there's a store, that's not so good. So let's go over here. Advanced Rebel automated ship remains stationed near a small Rebel space station. Sensors indicate it's a storage vessel for military goods. Should I avoid it or attack it? Of course I'm going to attack it, why wouldn't I? So now we get battle music. So activate my drone, which goes over on kind of the enemy screen and will take shots every time it charges up. Activate my weapon here with one, and then I can target that. So I'm going to target the shields first and tell it to auto fire, so it will keep the shields disabled so that the drone can then kind of attack and to put damage on the other things, and then I'll switch between the weapons and the shields. And let's go. And of course you have a chance, ooh, right, taking a big hit there. You take a hit, whenever you take a hit you take damage, and also disable a system. You take more damage in a room where there's no system or where a system's disabled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the guy on the shields, because I quite like to, it's better to not have your shields regenerate quite as fast, but to still keep up that evasion, because that increases the chance they're going to miss you. And of course the shields are also disabled currently, so we'll send them down there to repair, and then we'll keep on attacking. So their shields are now disabled, so I'm going to disable their weapons as well. Right, so my weapons have now taken a hit, and that's lost a power bar. So now I can't use that weapon until I repair it. Good thing is their shields are down, so my drone can just keep on attacking. Right, so now their shields are kind of back up, so my drone can't do any more damage because the shield will recharge before my drone attacks. And there we go, so I got some scrap for taking down the ship, but then I also got the cash behind it, which is a couple of fuel, some missiles and some scrap. You'll sometimes get drone parts, you'll occasionally get weapon drops, or you'll have events where you can gain extra crew members and that kind of thing. Oh, and let's repair our oxygen before we all suffocate. Which I've done, and it's kind of the thing where you go, oh yeah, I forgot you had to have air. It does make you seem quite silly, because quite often in the heat of the battle you're like, oh, I just need one more power bar, I'll turn something off, oh, I'll turn the oxygen off, I just need it for a little bit, and then everybody dies. Yeah, not so good. So this map kind of fills out depending on where you can jump to. So currently we can jump from where we started to this new location. Obviously when we get here we'll have access to these, so it's kind of branching routes out. Sorry, the music is really cool. I just like listening to it, it's quite nice. So now they're powering up their FTL, which is their faster than light drive. So if they get away, then the rebel fleet will advance kind of from the left hand side of the map screen faster, because they know where I am, as it were. So what I'm going to do here is take out his shields and take out his FTL drive, which is basically his engines, so that he can't run away, and then I can slowly work him down. So you can see here, their health, their shields, their class, which doesn't really make much difference, and the relationship is obviously hostile because we're fighting. So that's good. Taking down his shields. Ooh, he's taken down mine. Ooh. And now my drone's out of order, which is kind of my only damage output, so I really need to repair that. Keep that guy in there to repair the shields as well. But I can still keep shooting him, so I'll keep his... disable his weapons. Right, so I've now got a hull breach in my engine room, which means my engines are entirely out of action. So I'll send them in there. This will also lose oxygen as well. But I nearly have the drone back. I do now. Right, so I want to keep their shields down and keep their engine down. Meanwhile, making sure I stay alive. Right, so now I've finished with that, then come back to the shield room. So, one more hit for my drone, and there we go. So that's kind of how this ship plays out, at least to start with. You disable systems with the Iron Blast and the drone does all the damage. Later you can pick up weapons and so on. Right, let's keep on going. Right, so here you have a choice of getting a guaranteed return, so a little bit of scrap, or ship's data stores, which could either be a map of the system, so it tells you where all the shops are, any distress beacons and that kind of thing, or attempting to download the ship stores could activate it and then you have to fight it. So I'm going to do that, and then, there we go, I have to fight it. Rightio. So this should be a little bit easier, it's not quite as heavily armed. Ooh, but that's quite nasty. That beam weapon is a nice thing to get later on if you can, because if you can get it to go across a number of rooms, then you can do more damage. So the more rooms you hit, the more damage it does. So obviously the shape of the ships is such that the different lengths of beam weapons you can get can hit more rooms and therefore do more damage. But not doing too bad. Got good amount of scraps, still got a good amount of fuel and drone parts. So that's pretty good. So now you can see this warning bubble on the left hand side. So that's the rebel fleet. So basically they chase you through all the sectors. So you want to try and get to the exit, but you also want to try and explore as much of the sectors as you can to get, you know, basic conflicts or distress beacons or whatever to try and make sure you get as much stuff as possible, basically. So that by the end of the game you're pretty beefy. So sometimes you'll jump, and like this you'll get absolutely nothing, but the fleet will have moved. So I could go here, but I think I'll just play it safe and go forwards. So now you have a choice, is to, you know, stay out of it. So basically just jump onto the next beacon, you know, if you're low on health or you're trying to rush away quickly. But I want to help, so basically I'm going to attack this pirate ship, which I think is a Zoltan because it has this kind of shield buffer, which is kind of a one-time use thing at the start of the battle, which you have to work your way through before you then kind of get to the rechargeable shield, which is the blue ones there. So get that going. So fortunately the Ion Blast does take away from that shield as well. So there you can see the beam weapon in good use there. It's gone right across both my shield and my engine room. So I'm in a bad way. Everybody's fixing stuff right now. So I'm going to try and deactivate their weapons before I do too much more damage to me, because their shield is now in the red, meaning it's entirely broken. When it's orange, it's kind of partially broken and under repair. So now I've got a fire. Now you can send you guys in to put out the fire and then fix the room, but it's a lot safer to just open up all your airlocks and let the air out, and the fire will go off all by itself. The problem with that is that I have to sit here and wait for that to happen because I can't do any damage. So just to keep them deactivated. Right, now the fire's gone out, I'll shut all the doors. Shut them all, not open them. Open that between the oxygen generator. Right, send those guys in to quickly fix that. So you see, from where they were hatched before, like this is where there's no oxygen, and then they go through lighter shades of pink all the way up to white the more oxygen there is. Basically, as long as it's not hatched, then your guys can survive, you know, as well as they can. Oh, that's about to hit me. Right, so now my weapons have gone down, so split them off, send it forward. So now I both got a reward for, well, reward salvage for destroying the pirate, but now because I helped the other ship, then one of the guys on that ship wants to join my team, so I will welcome him aboard. And I think that's a rock, so where should we put him? Well, we could do with having someone permanently in the weapons room so that the weapons recharge a bit faster and keep them up to speed. Just to even out the air a little bit there. Right, we could really do with... Right. Let's get another shield, so you have to put 2 in here to get another shield, and then 2 power bars. So I can't quite afford at the moment, but it's okay. I will turn off the healing. So I can put that into there, so now I have 2 shield. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that, just let all the air out. Whoops! Right, so now so here you see this one's blue, which is a nebula. Nebulas mean that your cameras can't see what's going on in the enemy ship, and inside your ship you can only see where you have crew members. In some of them there'll also be an energy storm which reduces the output of your reactor, so basically you have to decide what things you still want to turn on and which ones you can do without. But it also slows down the advance of the fleet, so it can sometimes be quite useful. But I'm going to go to the distress beacon and hope it's not a trap. Right, so here I've got the standard options: send your crew to help, ignore their request because they've got an unknown disease spreading amongst the workers and they're trying to set up quarantine. But because I have specific crew members, it gives you these blue options. So I have an NG crew member, so I can send my NG to calm down the infected, or I've got a rock crew, which can send my rock crew member to prevent a riot. So I'm going to send my rock crew member. As it said, it's unlikely the rock's impressive immune system is susceptible to a human virus, so you send it in. It's able to intimidate the workers long enough for the colony forces to set up a quarantine. Their leaders offer a reward and assure you they will try and find a cure as soon as possible. So there you go. I didn't do anything. I got 3 fuel, 1 drain part, and 10 scrap, which is cool. So now I could either go through this nebula straight to the exit, or I could go up here, which opens up these 3 extra points, which there could be something useful at, and seeing as I have plenty of fuel and not in a hurry to try and get away from here before they reach the exit, I will go the long route round. So I'm going to attack it. So here's like, I could get a bit more evade by turning off the oxygen. But you see the oxygen starts dropping really, really quickly. So here we've both got a drone, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out his drone as soon as possible. Right, so when the oxygen gets around to 25%, I'm going to have to turn it back on and lose that evade, otherwise it's not going to go all that well. Right, so their drone's now entirely deactivated, which is awesome for me. And there's their ship gone, and before we look at the pretty explosion, oxygen please. There we go. So I got 9 scrap, but I also got information about the surrounding area, so basically it populates the map. So you can see that up here, possible ship, close to a nearby sun, which gives solar flares, which is really bad when you're on low health, and there's no store in this sector apart from the one right at the beginning. So I'm going to go straight towards the exit because I don't fancy tangling with any of the other things that are around here. So, intelligent life forms on a nearby planet. No match for them can be found. Let's investigate. Small, brightly coloured, 6-legged horse-like animals. Communicate peacefully. Try and bring some of the creatures aboard to sell or leave. Let's try and communicate peacefully. They just stand there silently judging you with their large expressionless eyes. Oh well. So let's jump to the exit. So I can now trade 9 drone parts for 2 fuel, but I need drones because that's all I can attack, so I'm going to ignore that. I've still got plenty of fuel, and just checking my oxygen is going up and not down. So jump to the next sector. Right, now you get to choose what path you take through here. So pirate controlled or civilian controlled. There's also Mantis, Rock, NG, the other races as well as the human ones. So I'm going to go civilian because it's not hostile. So That looks nice.